Mara, a young Nigerian girl in her early 30s, whose look gives her away for a 25-year-old damsel, works in a top Nigerian bank as an international trade advisor. Mara is passionate, savvy, eloquent, proactive, and above all a fervent Christian girl. Although her job profile is limited to back-end operations, she, however, sometimes steps forward to the bank reception to speak directly with some agitated customers. One day, Mara became so frustrated that she almost let out a sob on the office floor. Mara stood before her boss, Mr. Daniel, and gave a lowdown of the $50 million transaction error committed by her colleague Annie. "Mr. Daniel, I can't continue to defend these recurring errors," said Mara. "This lady needs more time of training, considering the fact that she's slow at grasping things." Mr. Daniel was furious. "Mara, I do not believe your claim. As a supervisor, you should be able to guide Annie till she masters the skill." In a whisper, "Besides, Annie is the chairman's protégé." Mara looked directly into her boss's eyes and couldn't argue further. Mara excused herself and went into the bathroom, opened the tap, wet a tissue paper, and dabbed her face. Shortly after, Blessing, her colleague, came out to the vanity area to pacify her. "I can understand your plight. You have to know the C-suites guys to get away with some things," Blessing said. Mara turned to Blessing. "Really? $50 million error, and they're going to put the blame on me? I didn't even authorize it. They're just going to cascade the blame down to me? This is unbelievable." "It is what it is," said Blessing. "Anyways, my flight to Canada is in a fortnight." Blessing smiled. Mara couldn't believe her ears. "You're leaving?" she asked. "Yes, I don't know the C-suite guys. And I won't sit on executive trainee level for 5 years, hoping for a miracle promotion. I'm still young and full of energy," Blessing said. "I can understand. It's a great move," Mara said. "By the way, when are you going to resign?" Blessing let out a hysterical laugh. "I notified the bank 3 months ago. I just need this last month's salary badly. You know life is expensive over there." Mara congratulated Blessing and reflected on Blessing's hard line. "I don't know the C-suite's guys." 3 months after, Mara trained the replacement for her role as she was set to relocate to Canada. On January 3rd, 2025, Mara arrived in a small city in Western Canada. She stayed with an acquaintance she connected with on a WhatsApp group called Nigerians Living in Canada for a few weeks before she finally settled in. During her stay with her acquaintance, Mara browsed the Facebook marketplace incessantly for potential housing. After several attempts, she found one and booked a viewing appointment. "Dear God, let this house be such that comes with peace. Otherwise, don't let us reach an agreement," Mara prayed. A few minutes later, her potential home sharer called her via Facebook Messenger and notified her that she needed to make a deposit of $500 before February 15th to secure the place. "That's okay. I will come for viewing as discussed and make the payment if it meets my preference," Mara said. Mara went to view the apartment when her potential home sharer opened the shared refrigerator. It was chock full of foodstuffs. Mara's countenance was full of questions. Bibi, her potential home sharer, is a Nigerian who understood the nuances in Mara's face, suddenly said, "Don't worry, when you move in, I will create space for you. I will also make a duplicate key for you before the move-in date." Mara, who was still trying to understand the home-sharing system of Canada, became relieved but feigned indifference. On the morning of February 13th, Mara called Bibi to inform her of her moving date and asked Bibi if it was okay to stop by at 10 a.m. the next day to pick up the key. Bibi said it was okay if the deposit was paid before Mara showed up. Bibi sent her Interact details to Mara to pay the agreed deposit. Without delay, Mara sent $500 to Bibi. Mara also informed Bibi that she would bring some of her things along to keep in her space before she finally moves in. Bibi agreed and informed Mara of where she would find the key to the house. When Mara got to the house the next day, she saw that the refrigerator was still chock full of items. She, however, kept her cool. A few minutes later, Bibi came in with her male friends. Mara greeted them politely. Bibi suddenly let out an outburst. "Mara, I don't like this. You didn't tell me you would come this early. Today is not even a good day to just call me out of the blues to visit the locksmith. I've told God I don't want any problematic housemates. This your timing is not working for me at all." Mara was furious but kept her cool. "Okay, let's go," said Bibi. They all entered one of Bibi's friend's car. On the way to Home Depot, Bibi continued her ranting, but this time in pidgin. Honestly, if to say na like this you go be, I for no share space with you. I know like make person, just day disrupt my plan. Mura still kept her cool. Bibi let out another bout of ranting. At least yesterday, when you call me, you know talk say, na early morning you go come. If you tell me yesterday, say, na early morning you wan come. I for dawn cancel the appointment. This is Canada ooh. Mura could not keep her cool anymore. Mura let out an outburst in the car. Excuse me, madam. And so what if this was Canada? Bibi pondered on what to say. Are you talking to me? She asks Mura. Of course you, said Mura. Who do you think you are? You've been ranting. Despite that I called you this morning to remind you of the timing, and you confirmed it was okay by you. Now you won't let me breathe, just because I chose to share a space with you. This is just too denigrating. How do you address me like I'm your little girl? Please respect yourself and pause that ranting right now, Mura stated assertively. Bibi was perplexed. She couldn't believe a newcomer in Canada could shut her up. She pondered on how Mura could muster up the courage to halt her. Bibi finally found her voice. She addressed her concern to her friends. I don't go carry senior madam come house ooh. I know sure say this arrangement go work ooh. One of Bibi's friends responds. I think you both just haven't found a common ground yet. You both do not understand each other. You both need to calm down and try to understand each other. Bibi wasn't content with her friend's response. She expected her friends to take side with her and castigate Mura. Of course, Mura was also all fired up to lash out expletives. Finally, they got the duplicate key, and Bibi gave a copy to Mura. A few minutes later, while Mura was on the public transit, Bibi called to request for her Interact details. Mura was stunned as to why the request. Bibi called back shortly to inform Mura that she had sent her $500 deposit. I'm not sure our coexistence can work. I don't have strength for Wahala, Bibi said. Mura summoned courage and said, That's fine. Please let me know when I could stop by to pick up my items. Mura called her host immediately to inform her of the fallout. The next day, when Mura showed up to pick her items at Bibi's place, Bibi had already called 911 to inform them of an invasion and threat to life at her house. As Mura was descending the stairs, Bibi apologized to her about the heated argument they had in the car the previous day. At this time, Mura began to hear sirens blasting outside of the house. As Mura stepped outside of the house, a police officer asked her if she was Bibi Pipero. Mura said no, as Mura turned to call Bibi to come out to attend to the police. Bibi opened the door and informed the police, That's the intruder, and I don't even feel safe right now. Mura could not believe her ears. She was stunned. She tried to defend herself, but the police officers politely told her that they needed to take her away from the premises first, to create a safe space for the complainant. Mura cried as she was handcuffed and driven away from the premises. Dear God, let this cup pass over me, she cried out loud.